Hello, my name is John Curry, and welcome to the development and enhancement of a management information system for a case study within the Irish furniture industry. I have created two tutorial videos, one illustrating the background behind the company and the current system in place, and another video which will illustrate the developments I have done to improve the system. So, the background. This company currently operates in the contract fit-out sector of the industry. They predominantly fit out hotels, but are not solely focused on just hotels. So, as we know, there are a large number of rooms within each hotel, each room containing a multitude of furnishings. Due to the large quantity of furniture which has to be manufactured, they have built a customized MIS system to suit their business model, which will keep record of all data collected and gathered from site surveys of how much of each product has to be manufactured. This system has been made through Microsoft Excel. Due to no other off-the-shelf MIS system being able to adapt to this business model, and because no other specialized MIS manufacturers would make a customized system for them due to its high complexity. I will now go through the system and how it works. So, moving on, the system is currently a 4-tier system, each tier relying on the previous step. So, they have created, firstly, a folder. So, as you can see, in this folder, there's 4 separate Excel documents. Each Excel document illustrates a step within the process. So, first of all, we have the BOM, which is a bill of materials, PO sheet, which is a purchase order sheet, a room matrix, and a transpose. So I will now go through each sheet and how it works and what they have to do to carry out each step. So firstly, the first step is the room matrix. So the room matrix is a sheet where all the data obtained from site surveys is inputted in here to keep record. It is a two-fold system. So as you can see along the top, we have the product code and the product name. And along the left-hand side, we have all the data which resembles the hotel. So you have the floor number, the room number, the phase the project this room is about to be fitted, the delivery number, and the room type. Okay, so the top and the left hand side has to be filled in first before any data obtained from the site surveys can be inputted into the table. So that's essentially all that happens in this process. It's quite a lengthy process. It has to be manually entered. There's no way of automating this, as the site surveys will be recorded on just a blank template, and the operator then will have to manually input this data into this array of table. So next step, once this is done, it normally takes about 2 to 3 days, but once this process is done, the next step is the BOM, the bill of materials. But before we can actually commence the BOM, there is certain criteria required from the room matrix which has to be brought in from the BOM. Okay, so there's a step in between this process. This step is called the transposing as such. Okay, so as you can see in the transpose, there's 3 columns of data we need before we can start the BOM. So we need the product name, the product code, and also the total quantity of each product. So I'll just go back to the room matrix and see where you can locate this data. So the product name is along the top here. We have the product code directly underneath it. And then down the very bottom of this sheet, we also have the total quantity of products. Okay, so these are the 3 columns of rows of data we need before we can start the BOM. So you can also see the data is going across the direction, and it's also aligned vertically up the way. So this is just for neatness and tightness within the room matrix, and also when printing off the room matrix onto an A3 page, it is possible so that if the data was aligned the other direction, it wouldn't essentially fit on an A3 page because it just wouldn't be possible. You see, it just drags all the way out, okay? So it's just for neatness and tidiness among this page, this sheet, okay? So in a transpose, they essentially just orientate the data in the vertical column instead of going in a horizontal direction. They align it this direction, and they also align the writing along 0 degrees instead of 90 degrees vertically up the way. So I'll now go through how they do this. So it's quite it's simple, but it's very it takes a few steps and a few clicks to do. So essentially what they do is just highlight this row data, they copy it, they then go into their transpose, they then click the first cell they want to enter the data in, they then go right click and paste special. Okay, so you can see then this option bar comes up. So you can do it this way, but then you can also, down bottom you see here, transpose. So you right click transpose, and as you can see the data comes in a vertical direction instead of a horizontal direction. Now with this data coming in this direction, that's all good and well, but as you can see as well that the alignment of the text is in the incorrect way. So then they have to do another process where they right click and they go format cells and they change the direction to 0. Okay, it was in 90 degrees vertically up the way in the room matrix, as you can see text going up the way, but now they've actually changed it to just 0 degrees horizontal. Press OK, and here goes the data. Now see, it's not very clear there as well, so they also just unbold it. You can also remove the fill, and you can also spread out and remove the heavy border as well. So it's all clear now and concise. Okay, the exact same step now is done for the quantity of each room, and that's just simply just copy and paste the same process, copy and paste over and align the correct way. Okay, so that's simply how the transposing process happens. Once the data is ready to go, they can then commence the BOM process. Okay, so in the BOM then, as you can see, I just already done this. We have brought in the product code, the product name, and the quantity. Now there's a bit of adjustment that had to be done when brought in first, so I'll just go through it again. So what they do is literally just, it's copy and pasting. It's simple process. Copy into your BOM, they right click the first cell, which will be up the top here, but I'm just doing it below just to show you what's going on. They right click and they just simply paste it, and there's your data. Now as you can see, it's not in the correct column. The product name is actually in the product code column. The product code is actually in the product name column, and also the quantity is not in the correct column. So they have to do a bit of maneuvering around. So instead of doing this, they'd actually just copy and paste it in manually. So there'd be 3 separate copy and paste steps. Once this is done, then they would then highlight this row just to make it stand out, as this is the heading of each product. They then insert numerous of rows underneath it. Sorry, no, I'll just no fill, and same step again. They'll insert roughly around 5 rows in between each heading. Okay, so then you see once this is all inserted in, the formulas over here have actually dragged down. They're not to be entered, so they essentially just have to right click here and drag everything back up again. So right click and just drag your formulas back up again, and then they can enter the additional products or additional elements that are going to be required for each product. So for instance, with this headboard, they may need a bracket or special fixing which has to be bought to fix it in the room or something, etc. like that. So they'll have to type in bracket and continue along and enter all this data for each product if there is additional materials required for each product. So this has to be done all the way down along. This process is very slow. You know, there's extra steps added in here that can be automatically done when bringing in this data, and it can take quite a while. It already takes about 2 to 3 days to fill out this bill of materials sheet as well. So it's very slow, it's lengthy, it can be very very tedious, like right clicking in certain blank rows and all the way down long just to get these 5 rows to enter in additional product names. And even just the highlighting of cells can be just tedious to go down long and manually highlight each cell just to make it stand out from every other additional product. So that's essentially how it works, this system. They then move on to the PO sheet. PO sheet then they have to manually enter in a sheet for each supplier, and then once this is filled out, then it can be printed off and sent off as the invoice towards the supplier so they can order in their materials. So as you can see, it's very lengthy, it's very slow. It works effectively for the company. It's been done for a couple of years now. They can't fault the system because it has worked perfectly for them, but there is elements that can be improved with the system. Like everything can be always improved. So my main focus for this was I would be not be able to automate the whole process. What I mainly focused on, I wouldn't be able to automate the room metrics, as this all has to be manually entered, but the automation of the transferring of data from one sheet, from the room metrics to the transpose sheet, and the auto transformation of data into the BOM, transpose into the BOM, is what my main priority for this MIS system. So that's how it works. There is no complicated formulas or Visual Basic within these spreadsheets, and so it's fairly simple, and it works effectively, to be honest. So that's how the current system works. That's the background behind the company. Listen to the next tutorial video of what I've done to enhance and develop the system. Okay, thank you for listening, and I will talk to you now in the next video.